Coinbase has had a recent new listing for NuCypher, privacy infrastructure for the decentralized web. Let's take a look at it. What's up, coin traders? We're looking at NuCypher today. NU on the ticker, NuUSD. It's actually pretty much only launched on the decentralized exchanges and now Coinbase. So we have been trading for about 3 days. You can see the freaking order book's just going ham right now. Obviously, it's kind of thin. That's what we're looking at down below. I can't even make sense of this. It's happening so fast. Essentially, we got this new coin we're going to look at. So let's talk about what it is. This chart's pretty insane right now. We'd have to zoom in quite a while since we only have basically, 3 days. And it's just freaking insane right now. So yeah, we're going to talk about if it's risky, worth jumping in, all that fun stuff. So if that all sounds good, hit that free like button. Let's talk about NuCypher. So yeah, NuCypher, essentially what they do is they do kind of encryption and key management systems for blockchain and specifically mainly Ethereum right now. It does seem like we're going to talk about it a little bit more here in a second. On Twitter, we're looking at a decent size for a new project, 13,500 followers. That's pretty good size for a new project like this, especially one that's only been listed for like 3 days. Most of the announcements are based off of Coinbase's listing though, so not a whole lot else going on that's notable. I haven't dug down too deep though, but that is pretty much most of the traffic nowadays. Obviously, that's a huge announcement, which is going to get it a lot of traction and all of that coming up. All right, so what is NuCypher? Well, NuCypher is a decentralized key management system, a KMS, encryption and access control service. It enables private data sharing between arbitrary numbers of participants and public consensus networks, using proxy re-encryption to delegate decryption rights in a way that cannot be achieved by traditional, symmetric, or public key encryption schemes. Native tokens are used to incentivize network participants to perform key management and access delegation revocation operations. Let's talk about this a little bit more in detail and kind of do an explanation since I'm sure a lot of that didn't really make sense. So we're going to break it down first with the decentralized key management system. So essentially that means that the system is trustless. The major function is key management, which is what is the decryption and encryption usually, especially for symmetric types of encryption that uses the same password or key to both encrypt data and also decrypt it. And so it's basically centered around that key management and not the file management itself. So breaking down this using proxy re-encryption to delegate decryption rights. So this essentially is the core technology PRE, which is the proxy re-encryption. So the proxy takes charge of the authorization management. I'm sure the part that most of us care about is the native token, the NU token. So we're going to need to have these tokens to incentivize network participants to perform key management and access delegation revocation operations. So we basically clarify this, and in a trustless system, we need to prevent both doing evil and not doing. So this is where the tokens actually make that possible. So if that doesn't make sense yet, hopefully we can clarify it a little bit more here. NuCypher is a data encryption and protection layer for Ethereum. So they will eventually be making it for other networks as well. Obviously, Ethereum's the big one, especially with regards to DeFi and decentralized applications and such like that. So it is the protection layer for Ethereum and decentralized applications, and it does not rely on a central service provider, which is the big key component here, especially for the key management system. So it does aim to give developers the ability to store, share, and manage private data on public blockchains. This is really beneficial so far in and of itself. I know we have privacy coins and things like that that do encrypt the addresses and whatnot, but essentially this is really great because when we have a public blockchain, especially one like Ethereum, that all the data is public on, this helps to actually be able to encrypt the things that you want to encrypt on your, say, smart contract or whatnot. So you can receive this encryption service via a network of NuCypher nodes in exchange for a fee paid for in Ethereum. Participants can only spin up a node by staking NuCypher's token, NU for the ticker, on the network as collateral. So if we look at the token a little bit more here, we're going to see that NU for the ticker is the native token, and it serves as a work token that gives holders the right to run a node on the network, as we mentioned earlier. Once the network confirms an operator's NU security deposit, these nodes can provide re-encryption services to users in exchange for new token emissions and network fees paid for in Ethereum. NuCypher designed its token model to give news low liquidity, thereby encouraging users to stake their tokens long-term rather than use their holdings to speculate on price. So we're going to be diving into this concept here in a second when we talk about the chart a little bit more. So know that they do want to give it a low liquidity, basically to incentivize that lockup and that utilization for that service to actually be able to do something with it other than basically invest in it, hold it, and then hope that the price rallies. So hopefully, I mean, you would think that it would be one and the same and two, but they're going for that longer term model here. NuCypher is open source, and I always appreciate when projects like this are open source. We're on the GitHub page right now, so it's definitely a very good sign to me anyway, and I always like when you can see kind of like what the team's doing, have other contributors, people that do commits and things like that. And also there's been a pretty good amount of like a wiki page and also some general information on it. If you do want to check it out, go ahead over to the GitHub page right now. There's plenty of more information on it. We got all the white papers and things like that. So on our third day of trading right now, this is the Coinbase chart, and as I mentioned, it's not really on too many other exchanges right now besides the decentralized exchanges, so I think it's actually a very good sign that Coinbase was one of the very first ones to pick it up right now. So we are looking at the hourly chart, not a whole lot going on, obviously a big pullback so far. It found a floor, and once we actually establish support on these prices, looking at basically 10.5 cents, then as we talk about, once we find a floor, only place to go is to the upside. Got a perfect example right now of this consolidation pattern that we see. Consolidation breakout. Right now, though, kind of looking at a double top, even though we did make a higher high, we're still seeing that closing resistance come in, but that's okay because we are looking at a higher closing resistance than we saw previously, but we're still seeing kind of an overall rejection. Right now, we are looking at about 22 cents. So basically, anytime we saw prices go above that, bear stepped in and pushed prices down. So we're going to need to probably right now wait for these exponential moving averages to roll up. We could even see this whole area for consolidation that was kind of resistance on this consolidation triangle here to actually be support, and hopefully we could see a pullback test of this 12-period EMA as well. Obviously, this is just the hourly chart, so not a whole lot going on with it right there. We'll probably see it climb the market cap ranks here pretty quickly, I would assume, at least, especially since it's on Coinbase right now. Ranked number 243, so that's pretty good. Sitting at a market cap just over 82 million US dollars. Obviously, huge upside on this, though. If you did get in low, we're looking at kind of over 100% in under 24 hours. So insane run up. I do probably anticipate it to go up a little bit more, especially as we are looking at a lot more of these consolidation patterns here. So as long as we do keep seeing that, essentially, especially if we see a little bit more volume of that come in, then we could be looking good as well. But we are going to at some point need to see kind of a big slowdown, because this sort of growth where we see 100% in a day isn't really sustainable, especially if the only thing driving it is just being listed on a new exchange. But also with that said, being listed on a new exchange probably is going to see a lot more buying opportunities, so we're going to keep our eye on it. But overall, yeah, we're going to need to, I think, see a lot more sideways trading consolidation and basically an opportunity for this new token to establish itself and prove that it's not just going to have an immediate dump and then we're going to see prices back at this point again. I think right now we'll probably be seeing a little bit of a ride for this new hype, especially if we do keep seeing just insane gains. Obviously, those huge gainers do typically bring a lot of people into the market for that crypto. Switched over to the 30-minute chart. Obviously, since it's still such a new chart, we don't have too much to talk about, so the 30 seems relevant right now. Holding the 12-period EMA, good sign. Also, too, when we see this period of consolidation, which is a perfect little sort of consolidation triangle here, big decreasing bearish volume. So that's a very fantastic sign for all of this consolidation that we've seen. Increasing bullish volume all the way up to the high, decreasing bearish volume for the consolidation, and then obviously increasing bullish volume for this consolidation breakout. So assuming that same sort of scenario can play out again and we do see that decrease in bearish volume, then I would think that likely we'll see probably another period of consolidation. Overall, as long as we just continue to see these decrease in bearish volume, though, that's definitely a very good sign, and we're going to expect to see that kind of play out the same way that we saw previously, and that's definitely not a red flag or anything just yet. Switching over to the weekly chart now. Weekly chart looks great. Not all that often we get to see coins just get released for one candle bar on the weekly, so it's definitely fun to see that there's one candle right now that we're looking at. Obviously, big lower shadow on this wick, decent sized body, so we'll see how that plays out here. So I think right now the listing definitely helps. I think the use case is great for it, but we're going to need to basically see it prove itself and establish that it actually is delivering on the promises that it has. Also, we do have that low liquidity for it, so we are thinking that this is going to be more of a longer term hold. And basically, it's going to be driven by a lot of buyers, not necessarily traders, but buyers that are going to want it for the actual use case itself to provide that encryption and decryption service for decentralized apps or whatnot on Ethereum. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. Overall, though, whenever we see big upper wicks on candles like this, so I think the first main day was, yeah, over 23%. Currently, we're looking at, if it stops, like over 11%. So anytime we see pretty much over like the 8% plus mark, that's definitely a sign that we're going to start to see a lot of bearish pressure and kind of a lot of that selling pressure start to come in. Not to say we can't see more upside, but if we do continue to see big upper wicks on these candles, then we are going to expect that probably a pullback will be in order at some point. Definitely not a bad sign, though, especially since we have rallied basically 84% in a matter of days. So I think we are due to see a little bit of selling pressure once that bullish volume subsides. So that's going to wrap it up for us today, though. If you did enjoy the video, please hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. It greatly helps us out, and we really appreciate it. Post all your questions, comments below as always. Thanks for all the continued love and support. Take care, everyone. I'll see you back in the next video.